Hey guys, come here kitty, come here. What are you doing? Okay, run away from me. Hey guys, okay, so today on my Pilates travel series, we are gonna go to Vienna. So we flew from Paris to Vienna and I loved Vienna. It was a little bit of a shock trying to get used to Austrian German. That was the thing. But we're gonna go through a little Pilates class that's kind of inspired by Vienna. So we're gonna take a really wide stance with those legs. And we're gonna draw big circles. So we get to the airport. So we get up kind of early. We get up at like 6, and we go to the airport. And the flight is super delayed on the tarmac and it takes a really long time, but we didn't have any connections or anything. And Wynn and I actually didn't get to sit next to each other on this flight. So, I go around the other circle. So I sat farther front and he sat farther at the back. And I fell right asleep and I didn't have any problems because sometimes I have some trouble flying. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit of an anxious flyer. And so he was all worried about me in the back, but he was by all these screaming kids and his headphones didn't work. So he had a much worse flight than me. But anyway, so we got into Vienna and we're like, okay, where do we go? All right, bring the soles of your feet together. Nice. And what I'm gonna have you do is flat back. I'm just gonna have you hinge forward. So we're gonna warm up the hips because we're gonna do some weird hip stuff, okay? So hinge it forward. So, we take the metro, which is actually very easy to follow. Once I figure out how to read the German, the letters and the words are so long. It's like, what does that say? Anyway, so we finally found our place and the guy was really nice. He waited for us there. And I kept trying to speak to him in French because we were just in Paris. So every time he said something, I was like, oui. And I was like, wait, that's not right. And he was just so confused. Let's bring one leg out, one foot in. What I'm gonna have you do is bring that forearm down and reach it over. Nice, and then come on up. So we used to do a beautiful little apartment with a cute little balcony. It didn't look like there was anyone else in the building. We didn't hear anyone else. We had these like really weird set of keys that were really hard to open all the doors, but we figured it out. And we were just kind of like tired from traveling and we were kind of cranky because we carried all our stuff everywhere. And oh, now you're gonna join me? There goes my kitty cat, guys. So, and then, so there was just like this restaurant right next to us, next to this train station that we were next to. And nice. All right, we're gonna get a little crazy here. So what I'm gonna have you do is shoulders towards that foot and I'm gonna have you flat back hinge it. Nice. So just working in it a little bit, just gently coming into this exercise today. That's how I kind of felt going to Vienna. I was just like, after the whirlwind of Paris, it was like going into Vienna and just being like, okay, well, we're here now and what do we need to see? What do we want to see? All that kind of stuff. Nice. Ooh, okay, we're gonna switch sides. So this foot in, that foot out. This hand on the inside, and we're gonna reach it over, get that long spine. Yeah, warming up that inner thigh, warming up those hips. I like how Boo's face is like right in the corner. Kitty cat, who's a good girl. She's like, what? So we go to this little restaurant and the waiter is just like, you guys are obviously tourists. And they had a vegetarian dish and it was delicious and we drank a bunch of beer and we got a bunch of food and it was really nice to just like sit down and have some food and not freaking worry about it after like crazy day of traveling. And so like our first dining experience in Vienna was like, wow, the food is way better here than in Paris because I was actually able to find a vegetarian option that wasn't, you know, at a specialty vegan place. And he got like something Vienna was famous for, Frankfurter or something. Okay, so flat back hinge towards, but you're kind of in the way now. So we're gonna hit flat back hinge it forward towards that foot. It's nice and long stretch out here. Nice. So yeah, so day 2 in Vienna, we're like, okay, let's go to the museum place because there's this place, Vienna, like the central part of Vienna where it's just like 35 museums or something crazy. And like, so we were all stressed out. We kind of had a little fight and we were like, was raining, we're all grumpy, and he was just being kind of snappy with me, and so I got snappy back. I'm not good at controlling my temper, as you guys probably know. And so finally we got into a museum, and because we had to wait in this long line, and we couldn't figure out what line to be in, and nothing is in English, and it was a little confusing. So we went to their natural history museum, which was crazy, guys. They had like 12 rooms just full of rare rocks. Like, I know I'm such a nerd, but it was so cool. So coming into our tabletop, we're gonna bring those hands underneath your shoulders, knees right underneath your hips, and we're gonna open it out into that fire hydrant, just warming up those hips. I guess now we're really working them, but you know what I'm saying. So anyway, so we go, so we go through this like crazy museum, and then they had every animal in the world taxidermy. So they had rooms upon rooms upon rooms of these taxidermies, and they also had the oldest artifact in the world of that little Venus, and that was so cool to see that. And then we went through the Habsburgs museum, so essentially it was like just like everything the Habsburgs stole, which was really cool because they had quite a collection. And I had started my period and we couldn't find a bathroom, so I ended up using the bathroom in this like, I don't know, everything was like white marble, and I felt like a crime scene. And if you're a girl and you understand what I'm saying, like, oh my god, it was so, now it's funny, at the time I was cranky. Yeah, we ended up having a really good day, and then we were like, oh, let's just go back and chill. And so we went back to the place that we were staying and like kind of chilled out a little bit after that like whirlwind. So it was just like 3 museums in one day is enough, like let's just go home. And so we went back to we switched sides, guys. We went back to the room, and I did math homework. I had to finish my math final. So a lot of Vienna for me was studying mathematics, because I was supposed to take my math final before we left, but I just didn't want to rush it. Like I got like a 62 on my practice final, and I was like, no, I'm not taking it. So I ended up studying a lot of mathematics. I ended up getting an 87 in the class, guys. Yeah, I really studied in Vienna. Nice. Okay, we're gonna come down onto those forearms. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna march out. We're gonna lift one heel way up. Keep that core really strong. Lift one heel up. Nice. So we went to a bunch of different museums. We did the Habsburgs Gardens or whatever. That was really cool in Vienna. It was like JFK went and met with leaders there. It used to be like a really big world hub. It used to be like comparative to Versailles, you know? And so it's just like, it was really cool to kind of get into that history, get to know like, oh, here's where, you know, Mozart grew up. Like, is it Mozart or Beethoven? Grew up, like played for the Queen here, like just like really cool history. And they wouldn't let you take any pictures in the castle, which was kind of cool. And we did an audio tour of the like castle, or and it was really cool because we never usually do audio tours, but it was really cool to be like kind of walked through the place and shown all that stuff. And I learned so much. It was really, really fun. And we ended up having such a lovely day in Vienna. The grounds there has all this kind of stuff there. They have like these ancient fake ruins from Greece that were built thousands of, like, you know, 500 years ago, like fake ruins. Isn't that funny? And then they had like they had all these mazes. They're really into those like guarded mazes, and we just had so much fun. We were just like laughing. We just had such a great time. Then we climbed this giant hill to overlook a beautiful lookout on the city that was just like kind of magical. I did some really good runs in Vienna. There was beautiful running paths. Like, the city felt a lot cleaner and a lot safer than Paris. Not that Paris didn't feel safe, but like you could just tell that like they have their shit together. You know what I mean? Like, it just really seemed like they were like knew what they were doing in Vienna. All right, we're gonna come onto those hands, and what I'm gonna have you do is you're gonna bring one foot up. Yeah. So what I want you to do is try to find a straight line from your knee to your knee, and then maybe come onto a forearm. Oh my gosh, how's that hip flexor? Maybe push out a knee if that feels okay. And I want you to breathe into it. So what else happened in Vienna? We had overall lovely time. We went to a vegan Burger King. The Burger King only served vegan food. That was cool. Had a lot better food options in Vienna. It did take a lot out of me taking my test, I'm not gonna lie. It was like, oh my God, I'm taking a final in this country. And I had to like find paper and like, so we're gonna switch sides, make sure you're that straight line from knee to knee. And then maybe come down onto a forearm, maybe push out that knee, you got it. So Vienna was just like wonderful. If you ever get a chance to travel somewhere and go to Vienna, there was just like, there was so much cool stuff there, you know what I mean? It just felt like, it felt fun to like explore a different part of the country, and it felt like, I don't know, it's cool to kind of get to know Europe that way. I mean, maybe I'm like a dumb American, but. So let's come out onto those forearms. We're gonna take that left leg nice and wide, and we're gonna rainbow it over to that other side. Kick your wall. Big rainbow, nice. So that core is nice and strong, that leg is really long, and we're just tapping and tapping. I'll include some pictures from my trip in this video so you can kind of see what Vienna was like. I also only packed for Paris and did not think about the rest of this trip. I'm actually wearing this shirt because I wore it a lot in Vienna, so I thought it'd be funny to wear it here. Yeah, I really didn't pack for Paris. I only packed for Paris. I really didn't pack for the rest of the trip. So the rest of the trip I was like, what am I gonna wear those fancy dresses for? Like, I just wanna wear jeans and t-shirt. So I could pack better, that's for sure. Ooh, that feels so good. Let's try that other side. So nice and wide, you're gonna rainbow it over. Yeah, keep that core strong, nice and wide. Big rainbow. So, what else can I tell you about Vienna? They had really cool art exhibits. We got a little arted out. We went to so many museums, and there were so many museums in Vienna that were like, should we go to that or we museumed out? But it was like, how many Picassos, Monets can you see? You know, like, I mean, like, they had this really great Picasso exhibit in Vienna that was just like, it was cool because it was a bunch of his like lithographic work and stuff, like stuff you don't normally see by him, which was really cool. But it was also like at that point we've seen, like in Paris, you know, we had seen so much Picasso. Like we went to the Picasso Museum in Paris, so I was like, how much Picasso can you see? Which, you know, it's good, it's good. I've never been that big of a fan of Picasso, but I definitely have a new appreciation for him after seeing more of his art. So it makes sense why he was so famous. He was very prolific. And ooh, how's that feel? Okay, you guys ready for this? We're gonna bring a leg out. See, this always is like the best opener for my hip, but we'll see how you guys like it. So we're gonna bring a leg out. So Austria, Hungarian Empire. So learning about all of that history was really interesting because it did kind of feel like Vienna is the grown up and Hungary is the stepchild. That's how it felt with Budapest. Just Budapest was, next travel Pilates video, I'm gonna get into my trip to Budapest. You guys will crack up at that. But Vienna was like, it was a little rainier. They had like kind of an honor system with the subway. So like, you bought a ticket ahead of time and nobody checked you. And it was like your obligation to check, and they just assumed that you would be a good person. And I kind of like that mentality because like we bought a ticket every time we rode the subway. We didn't want to pay the whatever fine in case we were caught. But that was cool that you could that they trust you, you know, that they have that kind of open system. And they wore masks everywhere. They were so good with masks in COVID. Like they were much more serious about it. They were much safer about it. It felt like Wynn and I basically wore masks anytime we're in a crowded room with other people. So like if we went into a museum, I put on my mask. We were really good about it. We didn't get COVID the whole time we were there, and we were tested when we came back. We were both negative. So I liked that about Vienna. Vienna felt like everywhere else was a little bit more lax. Like Paris was even much more lax than Vienna on the masks and the COVID protocols, that's for sure. Oh, okay, you ready? We're gonna bring this hand down. Stack these shoulders, let's lift this leg. I told you we were gonna get crazy. It just, you couldn't tell from the beginning of this video. So nice strong core, nice lifted. You can always come down and lay down on the mat and bring this leg down if it's too much to hold yourself up on this knee, okay? I don't want you to put strain on that knee. So real strong core, really lift. So then what happened? So we went to Vienna. we kind of try to do everything, honestly. Nice. Oh, all right, we're gonna switch sides. Coming on up, let's bring this leg out, hand down. Oh, just kidding, we're gonna do these ones. Oh, I gotcha. So bring it down, lift it up, really strong core. How does this feel on your hips? Sometimes my hips are like, no ma'am, I will not do that today. So however your hips are feeling. We got some good beer in Vienna. Vienna had a little bit better beer options. Vienna though, like for me, it was like museums, good weather, beautiful gardens, lots of math homework. That's my total experience of it. They had these beautiful gardens and these beautiful grounds, and they had this museum quarter that you could walk through that was just like museum on top of museum on top of museum. Like they're really into like the horse jockeys and stuff there. Like they have this whole culture of like training horses to do tricks and stuff. So they have a whole culture of that there that I literally knew nothing about until I went. But like the gardens were so beautiful, and people would just sit there, you know, in the garden. They had so many rose bushes. I'll share some photos. So many roses. It was just like, I'm in heaven because I love flowers. So one of my favorite things to do is take photographs of flowers and just like examine the colors, and like my phone is filled with pictures of flowers. So I was in like heaven, like walking around Vienna, because it was just, they really take pride in their landscaping there, and like it was so cool. Okay, so hand down, you ready? I'm gonna lift this leg up. Oh, it's so much harder on this side. Oh, I'm such a whiner. Anyway, so Vienna was a lot of fun. I'm really glad that we went. It's definitely, I didn't really know anything about it before. I had heard good things. Like my grandfather had been there, my late grandfather had been there, and he liked Vienna, and I remember him telling me he liked Vienna. So I was like, cool, let's go to Vienna. And I really pushed it and then I was like, wait, did I make Venice? Like, did I say the wrong place? But no, Vienna is wonderful. And if you get a chance to go to anywhere in Europe, definitely put Vienna on your list if you can. It was amazing. Ooh-wee. Okay, we're gonna open up those feet kind of wide, and what I'm gonna have you do is I'm gonna have you sit down and come up. Nice. I did do a lot of handstands in Vienna. That was cool. We were kind of pros at the subway at that point. From taking the metro everywhere in Paris, it was much easier to follow the metro in Vienna. Like I got it down. Like there was one night where Wynn got a little drunk, and I was just like, I'm gonna steer us home, okay? Like, you turn it off and I will get us home. And so one night he was just like, how do we get back? And I'm like, because I know how to use the metro system. Because they would get really crowded, and then you would just like stand there awkwardly, and everything's in German. And so if you're not paying attention, you can miss your stop, or you could get on the wrong subway, going the wrong direction, you know, that kind of stuff. And so it sounds really silly, but if you're going, make sure that your first subway ride, that you know what's the end goal. Like, so if you're getting off at this stop, which direction you're trying to head on that train, so that you know which one to get off at. And then just know like where the subway entrances are, and then that's it. As long as you know how to get home from any point, you could go anywhere in the city, right? Like that's just about having that comfortableness and that safety to feel like, okay, I know we're on this stop and this is where we walk, right? And so anyway, I want you to go travel, because I think travel is, that trip changed my life. You know, it was a dream come true trip seeing Paris, and I grew and learned so much about myself. How do you guys feel from that silly little workout? I feel like my hips are talking to me. This was a great little workout to just kind of open up your hips a little, especially if you're feeling really tight and not really feeling like exercising maybe, or maybe adding this on top of your exercise of like, I just lift weights or I just run. This is a great exercise to incorporate with either of those things. It's kind of a more gentle Pilates class. If that hurts your knees in any way, you can always add more padding underneath those knees, so remember that. And be sure to check out all of my programs. I am about to relaunch my Build program, and I'm revamping my bikini competition plan. So it's a little bit easier to follow. I had some feedback from some people who did it that they were like, oh, we need more in it. So I'm adding a little bit more. And then I'm about to launch my Fit for Fall challenge, which is gonna be a 90-day Fit for Fall challenge. And it's super easy to follow, and it's got printables, and it's really cute, and it's gonna be really fun. And I'm gonna do a teaser of it coming up when fall's about to hit. I know it's coming. So be sure to check out all of those things. I'm also available for personal training. My schedule is kind of filling up. I just accepted 2 new clients. So if you want to have me as your trainer, fill out that form below and let's get something scheduled. But you guys are doing such a great job. Thank you for joining me today. And join me next time to hear me rant about Budapest, and we're gonna do some arms. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye.